Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Commander's Crypt. I've got an awesome video for you today. I've got the top 15 cards from Phyrexia All Is One. I like this set. You know, when I first looked at it, I didn't think it was. As I looked into it more, I'm realizing this is a very good set with some very strong cards, and we will talk about them. Hey, I just broke 23,000 subscribers and I'm pushing toward 30. Let's do it. Thank you so much for the subscribes and the likes. I really enjoy making these videos. I really love playing Commander and I hope that it shows. So if you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button. And if you're watching, if you're subscribed, you are my friend. We just have not met yet. So first card we're going to talk about today is Mind Splice Apparatus. I like this card. It's a mana rock for 1 blue and 3 flash at the beginning of your upkeep. Put an oil counter on Mind Splice Apparatus. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each oil counter on it. So this is a very fantastic card. It's very cheap. I'm picking up foils for a couple of dollars. This is a mana rock. It's basically a sapphire medallion. It allows you to cast. Let's say that you put this out and the game goes along and you've got 4, 5, 6 counters on this thing. That allows you to fire off like a 5 fireball for 1 red, and then maybe another blue X spell for another just 1 blue for 5. This is a very, very strong card. I would recommend picking these up. There's not a lot of buzz around this card right now, but it is a very good card. So honorable mention will be Mind Splice Apparatus. The 15th best card in the set, in my humble opinion, is a card called Clever Concealment. I like this card because it's another free spell. We're finding out that the best spells are the free spells. Clever Concealment is an instant for 2 white and 2. Convoke. Your creatures can help cast this spell. Each creature you tap while casting this spell pays for 1 or 1 mana of that creature's color. Any number of target non-land permanents you control phase out. So the reason why this card is so good is it's kind of a mini Teferi's protection for your creatures. If something goes down that you don't like and you want to keep your creatures, you might be tapped out. But white is known for all of its vigilance creatures. So you could block, attack, and then if someone goes to board wipe, you can tap those vigilance creatures for the 2 white and the 2 colorless and phase out whatever you want to. So very fantastic card. It is a free spell. Number 14th best card in this set is Skrelv's Hive, in my humble opinion. This is White's Bitter Blossom, and it might be better in some respects. I've got this at 14, but this could be higher. But there's a lot of really good cards with this set, so you will see. Skrelv Hive is an enchantment for 1 white and 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1. This creature can't block. Corrupted, as long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control with Toxic have lifelink. Very strong. You get this card first or second turn, you've now got it out, and you are making a dummy every turn. They can't block, but they've got poison counters. You put this out second turn, and you are already rolling. It helps with your artifact count, and it helps you kill opponents faster with the toxic counters. Very, very fantastic card. I really, really like this card. You could, and then you could use them to sacrifice for mana on and on till the break of dawn. So, Skrelv's Hive, number 14. Number 13. This is a fantastic card. I'm picking up foils of these for just a couple of dollars. Argentum Masticore. Fantastic card. There's not a lot of buzz. This thing's going under the radar, but this is a very, very strong card in our format. It basically allows black to destroy problematic enchantments. I'll read it First strike, protection from multicolored. So that's probably most commanders. So he's got first strike, so he's able to block just about everything that doesn't have first strike. But then he's got pro from multicolored. Just about all commanders are more than one color. So he's going to have protection. He's going to be able to block commanders. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice him unless you discard a card. When you discard a card this way, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to the mana value of the discarded card. So this is a very fantastic card. In my Boomtown Bullies deck, I've got a Razor main Masticore. With that deck, you're trying to fill your graveyard with baddies to flip onto your opponents. Well, this is even better because it helps with graveyard strategies. You're trying to put cards in your graveyard, but then it allows you every turn to kill the biggest problematic enchantment out there, a problem that black has, a problem that blue has once permanents do hit if they don't get counterspelled. Argentum Masticore, number 13. Very fantastic card. I'm very, very high on this card. I'm picking these up as well. $2 or $3 for the foils. This would be higher up the list, but there's even better cards. This is a really, really good set I'm finding out as I look at it. Number 12, the Eternal Wanderer. Legendary Planeswalker, 2 white and 4. Comes in with 5 loyalty counters. No more than one creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. Okay. +1, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature. Return that. Okay, so you can blink something to get its ETBs. 0, create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with double strike. Very strong. So she can protect herself. Then she says -4 for each player. Choose a creature that player controls. Each player sacrifices all creatures they control not chosen this way. So, kind of a one-sided board wipe. You're going to pick their crappiest creatures, and they're going to have to sacrifice the rest. Meanwhile, you're going to keep your biggest, baddest creature, and you're going to be way ahead of everybody else. Number 12, Eternal Wanderer. It is a kind of a one-sided board wipe for 6 mana. Next is number 11, Soul Thim Mayhem Dominus. All of the Dominus, the Domini, are very good. Soul Theme's fantastic. We're going to see another Dominus later on, Mandrak. I like to call him Mandrake. But anyway, Mandrak, that Dominus, he's also on this list. He's way further up because it's easier for him to sacrifice or to do what he needs to do in order to make himself get an indestructible counter. Sulfa Mayhem Dominus, 2 red and 2. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage to that player or permanent instead. That's pretty much what all of the Dominuses do. This one's got a very good effect. 2 Phyrexian and 1. Discard 2 cards, put an indestructible counter on him. So, again, with graveyard strategies, that's what you want to do. You know, this in a Rakdos deck, that's what this would do. I actually think I would put this in my Enwello the Painter deck because Enwello the Painter doubles sorceries and instants, and so does this. And so you can double, triple, quadruple your bombs with Enwello the Painter. One of my favorite decks. Sulfim Mayhem Dominus coming in number 11. Okay, so now we get to the top 10 best cards of this set. Number 10, All Will Be One. It's an enchantment, 2 red and 3. Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, All Will Be One deals damage to target opponent, creature and opponent controls, or planeswalker and opponent controls. So this card is very good if you're putting counters on things, poison counters, blah, 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 and there's a lot in this set. You're going to be able to do damage with this enchantment, but there are also combos out there that just infinitely win you the game. Number 9, White Sun's Twilight. It's a sorcery, 2 white and X. You gain X life. Create X 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens with toxic, and this creature can't block. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. So, for 7 mana, you can cast this, create 5 toxic creatures, gain 5 life, and wipe the board, and now you have got 5 or more toxic creatures out there, and if people cannot recover within a turn or 2, you're going to knock somebody out with toxic poison counters. Number 8 on the list, Atraxa Grand Unifier. She's going for like $50. They're kind of seeing her. It looks like she's going to get moderate and standard play. Black, blue, white, green, and 3. Legendary creature, Phyrexian Angel. She's an angel sent from heaven above. Flying, vigilance, death touch, lifelink. When Atraxa enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each card type, you may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest of the bottom of your library in random order. Okay, so that's artifacts, battle, creature, enchantment, instant, land, planeswalker, sorcery. So you're going to be able to potentially load your hand up with 8 cards with this. Atraxa Grand Unifier. Number 8 on my list. Very fantastic card, going for $50 or more. The foils right now. Next, number 7, Nissa, Ascended Animist. Phyrexian, 2 Phyrexian green, 2 green, and 3. It's got the completed mechanic on it. +1. Create an XX green Phyrexian horror creature token where X is Nissa's loyalty. So, if you complete her and you pay 4 green and 3, which is not hard to do with green, the best ramp color there is, you're going to put this out, you're going to have priority, and you're going to put down a 7/7 right away. She's going to be at 8/8 next turn, at 8/8's coming out, and so on, and so on, and so on. -1, destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's crazy, insano strong. -7, until end of turn, creatures you control get +1 for each force you control and gain trample. Okay. Kind of a Craterhoof behemoth. Very, very fantastic card. This set is really good. When I first kind of looked at it, I didn't realize how good it was. This is a fantastic set. In my humble opinion, one of the better sets has come down the pipe in a while. Number 6, Icor Moon Gauntlet. Everybody's talking about this card. 1 blue and 2. Planeswalkers you control. It's an artifact. Get 0 proliferate and -12, take an extra turn after this one. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose a counter on target permanent, put an additional counter on that counter. So, you play this out 3rd turn in the Atraxa deck, and go check out my deck tech on Atraxa. That's one of my most popular videos. A very good deck. You put this in there, and now you put a 4th turn, you put a planeswalker out, and you're proliferating, and then the more planeswalkers you have out, the more you're going to get value out of this. This is a very fantastic card. Foils are going for about $20. I picked up 1. Phyrexian Vindicators, number 5. The reason why I have this card so high, it's 4 black, it's a horror flying. If damage would be dealt to Phyrexian Vindicator to prevent that damage, when it's prevented this way, Phyrexian Vindicator deals that much damage to any target. There it is right there. White has a way to do direct damage. So you've got a 5/5 blocker that can block anything. No one's going to want to attack you with this in your deck, because if they do, you're going to block, and then you're going to do however much damage they swung at you with. So this is just a really, really fantastic card. I picked up 1 of these as well. Now we're going to get into the top best cards of this set. Number 4, Mycosynth Gardens. In my opinion, it's a sphere. In my opinion, it's number 4 because you can, you can mana fix with it. It taxes you when you do. It gives you 1 wing ding as well. But here's where it's at right here. X tap it. The Mycosynth Gardens becomes a copy of target non-token artifact you control with mana value X. Now, that doesn't say until end of turn. So, rules lawyers, let me know if I'm reading this right, what you can do. This is basically a mirage mirror that allows you to copy other artifacts, and it remains that. I don't see where it says till end of turn. So there's a lot of artifacts that you can still use even while they're tapped. So you might be able to use whatever you're copying right off the bat, even though it's tapped. Mycosynth Gardens, rules lawyers, let me know. But this looks like it's a very, very good card to me. Number 3, Conduit of Worlds. I love this card. 2 green and 2. I've been picking up foils of this thing for $2 or $3, and I'm going to continue. I'm going to grab as many of these as I can. That's just me. I'm usually pretty good at picking cards that go up in value later. It is a Crucible of Worlds. You may play a lance from your graveyard. So it is green, so there that is. But this is going right into my Atraxa deck. And I'll tell you why. The next paragraph, tap it, choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast a spell this turn, you may cast that card. If you do, you can't cast additional spells this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. This is going right into my Atraxa deck because I can play a land from my graveyard, then I could tap this, and then I can replay a Planeswalker that got killed. I just played my Atraxa deck last night, and I sure wish that I would have had this card in that deck. I could have played my Doubling Season, and then I could have played a Planeswalker, my Ugin, and then went crazy. This is a fantastic card. This is a card that's going under the radar. Everybody's talking about everything else but this one. $2 or $3 foils. I am grabbing as many as I can. Crucible of Worlds are probably $20 or more, $40. This is a fantastic card. Listen to me now and believe me later. Number 2, in my opinion, is Mondrak Glory Dominus because it doubles your tokens. 2 white and 2 legendary creature, Phyrexian Horror. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. 2 Phyrexian white and 1, sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures, put an indestructible counter on Mondrak Glory Dominus. This, you can tell I just had a big burger. Big old New Orleans hamburger. But anyway, Mondrak Glory Dominus. If you think about it, Anointed Processions are like $30, $40 cards. And I think this thing is up there already because it does the same thing. But now you can sacrifice 2 other artifacts or creatures, and it's going to be really hard for people to get rid of this commander if you use it as your general. But it is, even if you have it in the 99, it is an Anointed Procession. And it is a very good card. So I have it number 2 on the list. It's a 4/4 beat stick that, you're probably going to be making mites or whatever. They count as artifact and creatures. You could sacrifice those. And this thing's going to be very hard to deal with, to get rid of. And in my humble opinion, the number 1 card of this set. Now, let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think, if I've got this list wrong or whatever. The reason why there's a lot of strong cards in this deck. Depending on your play style or whatever, we could probably move Conduit of Worlds to number 1 or whatever, depending on what's going on. But I have Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, number 1 because she's kind of like Ishin. 1 white and 4 vigilance. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities or permanents your opponents control to trigger. So, no more Bajuka Bogs, no more whatever they're trying to do. So what you're going to do, if she's your general, you're going to load your deck up with all kinds of ETBs, and they're going to double. And white has a lot of creatures that have a lot of juicy ETBs. And so they're going to double, and then you're going to blink them, like with that last Planeswalker I was telling you about, the Wanderer. This is a very fantastic card, and this is a very fantastic set. Chef's Kiss to Wizards of the Coast with this set. I like to give credit where credit is due, and I like this set. I think it's a fantastic set. So that's it. We're going to get on out of here. Tell me what you think of the list, and I will see you on the next Commander's Crypt New Orleans, coming to you from a very hot New Orleans. It's February 23rd. It's 80 degrees down here. We're kicking it in our flip-flops. So we will see you again soon.